Welcome to the world of Blenderism. Glad to see you again. In this episode we will create cool realistic materials. So in this episode 1 will show you another one option how to create paint for a car with the effect of orange peel and metal shavings in the paint. I will show you how to create glass for racing cars, polarized iridescent headlight glass, with access to very fine settings, how to create realistic materials for the rear lights including reflective glass using normal maps. How to make a composite plastic material for the bumper and chrome exhaust pipe with damage effects, how to make a super realistic carbon material. In general, this is the moment when I have more fun than usual. I hope you too. There is one point that needs to be shown since my videos are watched all over the world and in different languages, so I want you to feel comfortable. You can turn on subtitles in almost any language very easily, you just need to translate. Well, let's start. We'll work in Eevee. For this, I make 2 meters for the shadow, turn on screen space refraction and bloom. Lighting, go to render display mode and let's set up the environment. I already have an HDR map called Shanghai. I downloaded it in advance. There are many different colors here, so it suits us and a lot of different lighting. Let's set the place where we will look and make the material. Let's start with the main paint for the body. Metallic. Set it to 1. Coat. Set it to 2. And we already have a pretty good result. But now we need to make an orange peel effect. Small bumps on the car's varnish coating. To do this, add a bump node, add a noise texture and make mapping for them by pressing Ctrl T. Connect the object. Set the scale to 400, details to 0. Connect the texture, color and height, well, and bump to normal. Make the distance very small, for me this value turned out to be 0.00005. Admire what a good result we got. Now we need to add the effect of metal shavings in the paint. To do this, we need to add the Voronov texture to our same mapping and to base color. And we got a pretty funny picture. You will probably think how metal shavings can come out of this. To do this, we need to separate the colors and then connect them. This way we get control over the colors of the RGB. Blue we set it to 1. And we got a normal map. We set the scale to 400. Now we need to add a normal map and connect it to normal. In order to control the scale of the textures at the same time, let's add a value node and connect it to the scales of our textures. We set the strength in the normal map to 0.1. Now the connection with base color can be cut. And now we have paint, now we need to adjust the roughness a little. But it looks like the HDRY map is quite dark. Let's change it to a lighter point. Well, that's it, the paint is ready. Now I suggest moving on to the rear light. As you can see, I downloaded the reference. You need to pay attention to the fact that it as usual, consists of 3 parts: brake, side light, and reverse. So now let me show you what it consists of. First, the outer glass. Then the headlight glass. It consists of 2 parts, the outer one can be smooth, and the inner one is figured. Next comes the chrome diffuser. This is our housing, in which the light source will be placed. Well, and behind it, the light source itself. The last one is the headlight housing. Our headlight will consist of such parts. Now we need to paint them. We return our parts using the combination Alt-H, which means return all hidden objects. First, we will have the outer glass. I recommend giving names to materials so as not to get confused. SBBR is a German abbreviation that translates as Standbremsblinkluft, or in English, rear light. I suggest switching to shading. The situation here seems more convenient. I will change the standard material a little lighter in the matte cap. Well, and you can turn on cavity. Standard principle BSDF can be removed. Add glossy, add transparent, and add layer weight. If you connect transparent, then it does not work. Since we work in IVA, you need to go to the material settings and change to alpha blend. Okay, the glass is transparent. Now let's mix using the mix shader. You need to connect in this order because if the opposite is true, then some kind of problem occurs. Connect facing to factor and add color ramp there. Now you can add red to make it a little darker and move on to the headlight body, make it chrome. Here we delete the principle, add glossy, and screw the roughness to almost 0. And so we can see how it will all look in render mode. You need to screw the ambient lighting a little. Let's add a second material to the outer glass for the reversing light. It will be colorless glass. You need to select the faces and assign them a material. For this we find red, copy it. Remove the red color and add brightness. Then apply the material. Let's fix the vertices a little and we can continue. Next we have smaller glasses, but we already have the material ready, so we just choose. Now the second part of the glass is diffusing. We select our material, copy it and rename it to diffusing glass. We need to create a reflector, add a normal map and press Ctrl T, and the Blender creates an image texture with mapping. For this, the Wrangler add-on must be enabled. I downloaded this from Google. You can use whichever you like best. We connect the color and add the value node in order to control the scale more conveniently. And do not forget to make a scan of our part. Very important moment to set image texture color space to non-color. Now the scale can be adjusted. Now we can move to red one. Stop. As you can see, I have already given it a red material, but I messed up the names. Well, it's okay, this is a creative process. Everything is simple, the outer glass is smooth, internal glass reflective. We repeat the same procedure with the normal map to make reflective glass. Add the normal map and press Ctrl T and the Blender creates an image texture with mapping. Connect the texture color to color. And color space to non-color, otherwise it will not work. And do not forget to unwrap your details. Now we can move to long light. Copy the red glass as I want and make it a little lighter, and rename it. And in the transparent node you can make it lighter. When the outer glass is ready, we hide it. When the outer glass is ready, we hide it. You can move on to the inner reflective one. Well, here all the same procedures need to be repeated with the normal map. Thanks to such things that we are now setting up, our headlight will look not just emission, like a normal glow, but as close to realism as possible. Well, give the emission to the light source and make a black material for the body in which the light source is located. I think you can handle it yourself. Let's move on to the spoiler and create a super realistic carbon material for it. As you can see, you can download it on the site for free, even in 4K. So, add a new material, press Ctrl T. Copy the image texture. Connect the mapping to the second image texture, add normal map and connect to normal. We open color in first image texture and normal map in second. Add a value to the node so that you can freely control the scale. And at this point, you can understand how important it is to turn on non-color in the second image texture since it does not perceive the image as a normal map. Whoosh and take a look, what a difference. It remains to set the metal to 1 and the roughness to about 0.300. In my opinion, it looks very cool. Well, let's move on. The next element is the grid, give it a material. Do not forget to rename it right away. Delete the BSDF principle and add it to glossy. You need to reduce the roughness to almost 0 and make the color a little darker grayish. Move on to the next grid, give it the same material. Whoosh and everything is ready here, let's move on. The next element is a bumper. As everyone knows, a bumper is plastic, so let's do something similar. Give it materials and immediately rename it. Make it a habit because sometimes there are a lot of materials and you can get confused. Make the color black, connect the noise texture and connect the bump node. If you press Ctrl T on the noise texture, the mapping and texture coordinates will pop up. Change the UV to the object. And the noise texture should be connected, color and height. You need to give the blender a little time to think. To see the result, set the distance to 1/10 and the noise scale to 800. After that, set strength to 0, 1. Remove the details and you can adjust the roughness a little. Well, that's all, the plastic material is ready. Now let's add it to the rest of the bumpers or parts that will also have this plastic. I don't know for sure yet, maybe I'll change something there in the future, but for now this is it, okay. You can move on to the exhaust pipe. Here we will leave the principal BSDF. Since I want to show you how to apply one cool effect. To do this, you need to have prepared imperfection maps such as scratches, dents, smears, leaking water, fingerprints. Every person who does such things should have such a collection. Add the image texture. Connect the mapping. Connect the texture coordinates. Connect image texture to roughness. Go to the hard drive, find our scratches. In such moments, do not forget to check that you have a UV scan done. Well, for more control, add color ramp so that you can adjust the number of scratches with the runners. Good, very good. Now you need to add the same material to the second pipe. So the detail behind the grill or the false panel, I don't know what to call it exactly, which is behind the grill. I'll just make it dark for now, maybe later I'll change the color of the case, we'll see what suits better. Well, everything here is simple for now. Now we can move on to the logo. Well, it will be light chrome. We can take this material from the back of the taillight. Here I noticed that I didn't rename it, so we'll fix it. And so I looked at what it's called correctly, chrome, took it, placed it on the logo, but it's a bit dark, so let's copy it and set the roughness setting. Well, everything is fine, and so now the part between the headlights which. Since it's not a headlight and since it's not a bumper, I understand it will be metallic, so we set the metallic to 1. Screw on the roughness and coat needs to be set to 1. And we get such a shiny part. Of course there could be a headlight there, but I copied from the reference. Now I suggest you admire a little what we got, as it seems to me, red and black go well together, it looks aggressive and sporty. Of course, not everything is perfect, but I'm showing you the process like this. As it is, some problems appear when it is superimposed on the material and they become obvious. So don't judge strictly, I'll still be adjusting the topology. Now we can move on to the side windows. Here we work according to the scheme as with glass on the taillight. But since I'm not going to do the interior yet, I'll make the glass completely glossy so that it's not visible what's inside. Well, you need to add a little yellowish green color to add realism. Well, the door handle here is all just in the color of the body. We will make the inserts on the glass in the color of the grills. I am not yet sure that they will remain like this, we will also see. So let's move on to the side mirrors. There will be 3 different materials here. I'll make the holder out of metal, black, the mirror body in the color of the car body. Well, the mirror is in the glossy. To make a mirror in EEVE, we make a new chrome material for it and reduce the roughness to 0. Now let's add some chrome material to the stripes near the glass and to the grille on the hood. We'll take the chrome material from the bumper, it's already ready. Next we have the grille that's in the front of the car. Again, nothing supernatural, chrome material. Only a little darkened. We're doing a great job, we're getting close to the end, but don't rush to leave. I've saved the cherry on the cake for you. As usual, I'll show you how to make polarized iridescent glass for the headlights. They are usually used on racing cars on supercars. I don't know exactly what it's used for. Why do they do it, but it looks cool. Well, let's not go into science. Let's get started. Create a new material, rename it, and at the beginning, create glass along the path we know. Delete the BSDF principle, add a weight layer, add transparent, add a mix shader, add glossy. In the material settings, change it to alpha blend. Add a color ramp. So we have our glass, now add another mix shader to it. We connect glossy to it and twist the roughness to 0. And now you can connect a noise texture to it, color to color. And we can already see our effect. Now we need to tweak it a little. Set the scale to 0.8, set the details to 0, and set the distortion to 5. Press Ctrl T and change the texture coordinates to the object. Well, and add a value node to make it convenient to control the scale. So let's add another mix color, mix it with white to get even more control over the situation. So let's set the mix shader to 0 and look at the mix color. If you remove it to 0 then it is completely on, if you set it to 1 then it is completely off. I suggest placing it somewhere at 550. I like it like this, and the mix shader can be turned on a little bit somewhere at 1/10 approximately like this. In general, you can play with the settings as you like it best, because the main thing is that we like it. Look how cool the rainbow shimmers. Also you can try different scale settings. And so we move on to the headlights. We will make the strip around the headlight glass from black metallic as in the reference. Because if you give it chrome, it will reflect the environment. We also make the inner part of the headlight black metallic with a slight shine. Now you can paint the light emitters, give them new materials, rename them and make them chrome but with medium roughness. Select the other two light emitters, the third one that is already painted, and add Ctrl+L and connect the materials. Next, select the crystals from which the light will be emitted, add another material, rename and change it to emission. I showed you how to do it with one light resource, repeat it with the other two. We make the stands under the emitters the same black. I am not making new design, I am just copying from the reference. Well, let's not forget about the diode strips that are on the housings. They also need to be given emission. Copy the emission that we already have and rename it. After that, you need to select the right and central ones, and the last one is the one on which we already have material, and press Ctrl+L in order to link the materials. Well, when it's ready, let's see actually how it all looks in the dark. As for me, Lamborghini looks like an evil cat hunter or a puma, in general, very threatening. Well, actually, that's all for this episode. Thank you for your attention, and as always, learn hotkeys. They will make your life easier. Try different settings. And pray for Ukraine. Thanks, bye.